Hi, I'm Angie. I want to welcome you to National Indoor RV Centers, where we specialize in the sales, storage, service, and detailing of only high-end new and used coaches. So basically, we do it all. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today I'm so excited to show you the Winnebago product. Now this is a line that we've been dying to get at National Indoor RV Centers for years, so I'm so excited to have it because RVing has been synonymous with Winnebago, just like tissues with Kleenex. So today we're going to go over the Winnebago Boldt, and I'll tell you all the great features of this product. So fun fact, you're probably wondering where the Boldt name came from. Came from Victor von Humboldt, who was an avid adventurer, and he wrote volumes on his adventures over 21 years. So now you can get the Boldt to start your adventures. So this is the latest and greatest Mercedes Sprinter chassis. So it's got the 7-speed transmission versus the 5-speed transmission with the lower axle ratio, so you don't have that diesel lag when you hit the gas, the accelerator. Then we've got the Mercedes LED lights here, and then this is not your average fog light. This, you can turn this on so it's just a fog light, but it also is a cornering light. So when you're going below 25 miles per hour, as you turn, it's going to illuminate that whole area. So if you're off-road and you need to see where you are, if you're going into a campground, this is really helpful. Now above 25 miles per hour, it's going to be a little bit dimmer up till 43 miles per hour. And then it doesn't work after 43 miles per hour. So really cool feature that will be very helpful in your adventures. So just inside the windshield up at the top is your camera. That's going to be for your adaptive cruise control, your lane assist. It's also going to read the street signs for your speed limit, which is much more accurate than like a satellite reading. And then we have the rain sensing windshield wipers. And then we've got our little step up here. Now, if I wasn't interested, I'd demonstrate this, but you can basically just step right up in here so you can wash off your windshield. Nice and handy if you need to get up there. Right behind this panel, we have our tow hook. And then this is one of the sensors for our collision mitigation system. Another sensor here, sensor. A lot of people wonder why this is white when the rest of the vehicle is silver. Behind this is your radar sensor. So it's just behind this little piece of white fiberglass. When we paint it, it interferes, the metallic paint interferes with the ability of the radar to work correctly. So that's going to work with our adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation system. So very important behind there. Wanted to show you where the hood release was so that I can show you everything that's underneath the hood. It's obviously just going to be like most cars and vehicles right inside the door here, but it is all black, so it's kind of hard to find. Just reach back and pull that forward and it just pops the front hood. All right, so here I'm going to cover everything that you can see here underneath the hood. We're going to start here with our DEF fill. That's your diesel exhaust fluid, and this is a 5 3/4 gallon tank. Now under optimal conditions, so 60 miles per hour, you can go up to about 10,000 miles on that 5 3/4 tank, which is pretty great. Then we've got our engine coolant here. This is our cabin air filter. Then we've got our engine oil fill here. So one little note, I know a lot of you like to do your own maintenance work. If you want to change your oil on the Mercedes chassis, a couple things you need to keep in mind. First of all, you want to make sure you use all Mercedes parts and save your receipts so that you don't void your warranty. And typically on a Mercedes chassis, you'll say that you can go about 15,000 miles before you have to change your oil. When it's an RV, we recommend that you just do about 10,000 miles and then have an oil change. Then we've got our engine air filter here. And going over here, this is our battery terminal. So our positive charge here and our negative is right over here in the corner. Then we've got our brake fluid, our windshield wiper fluid, and right down below here is our power steering fluid. Just to note, that's only on the 4-wheel drive. So this comes in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. You're only gonna have that power steering fluid here, right here on the 4-wheel drive. Then you'll notice this big kind of empty cavity right here, and you're probably wondering what goes there. You can put an added chassis battery here if you like, for additional peace of mind if you're planning to spend a lot of time off-road. And then to shut your hood, you're just gonna lift it up and pull that out, put it right back up there. but you see it just kind of fits into that little spot right there. We've got our external mirrors here. They are powered and internally heated. You just have to adjust the bottom mirror if that's manual, if you need to do that. And then up in the corner, we've got the blind spot monitoring visible alert when there's a car coming down the side of your lane there. Now we've got the aluminum Alcoa wheels, and you notice we've got a lot of clearance here. So the Boldt comes in 2-wheel drive or the optional 4-wheel drive, which is what we have here. So the 4-wheel drive gives you that extra 4 inches of clearance. Great for those of you that want to take this off-road. And then let me talk about that just a little bit more. So the Mercedes manual is going to tell you that this is all-wheel drive because they have a very sophisticated braking system, so they have brakes at all wheels. But this is a traditional 4-wheel drive that you do have to engage at the dash, and you have to be under 6 miles per hour to engage that. So typically I'd say just pull over to the side of the road, turn that on, and then you'll engage your 4-wheel drive. It's not on demand, so like your car where it will automatically go into 4-wheel drive, this you have to engage again. So it is a traditional 4-wheel drive system. I wanted you to notice the running boards. These are really nice. They're going to help you get in and out of your coach safely, and it's actually bottom lit, and I'll show you how that is, how you turn that on in just a second. But you've got lights on the front and on the back. It's a really nice sturdy step. And then another thing that I really like that Winnebago adds for us here is we've got a little pet hook here. So if you want to bring Rover out and secure him to that, let him stay outside the coach, or you can also lock up a bike or any valuable thing that you're going to leave outside your Winnebago when you go off hiking or whatever when you're out in the mountains. So there's 4 ways to get into your Boldt. So first of all, you can use the remote control here, which I'll show you, but you also have a control at the dash right inside the door, and then I can do it manually. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my remote control, push the button. I really like that, especially if I'm coming back to the boat loaded up with groceries or stuff to go inside. That makes it really nice. And then just right inside the door here, there's another button at the dash, and then I can do that manually. Now that I've got the door open, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on those lights that I was telling you about. So you can see how they illuminate the ground. So again, that's gonna make it really safe as you go in and out of the coach. At Winnebago, voice of the customer is very important. So that being said, this is one of my favorite features, and one of the features they changed because of a customer suggestion. So the screen door is awesome. When we're out in the beautiful outdoors, we want to have that nice air coming through, but we don't want the insects and bugs and all that coming in with it. So they've made this really easy. You just unsnap it here, and then that just rolls down. You can just let it drop, but nice and easy. Let it drop. Then you're just going to zip each side. So now it's nice, secure. You're not gonna have bugs going in and out, but there's one extra cool feature that I love. And look at that. That's just a magnet. So pets can go in and out, kids can go in and out, adults can go in and out. You don't have to get mad at your spouse for not zipping up the screen door, and then it just shuts nice and easy. So I think that's really cool. Right inside the door here, we have a gravity fill for your freshwater tank. So that's gonna make it really easy for you to fill and sanitize your freshwater tank. Now you can do the pressure fill on the other side, but say you're at the river, you wanna use fresh water from the river and filter it yourself, you could get a jug and pour that into there, or use the garden hose, whatever you want. And then you can easily winterize your coach from here as well. So you would just turn the knob here to winterize. You would stick this into your winterization fluid and turn on the pump, and really easy to winterize your coach and very accessible. Now, you only need to winterize if we're not lucky enough to have you as one of our storage customers at any one of our National Indoor RV locations. One of the things that I was really impressed with when I went to the Winnebago factory is that they build and have all the modes for their holding tanks. So I thought that was really cool, because if I have a 2003 Winnebago and I need a new freshwater tank, I can get that. They have the mold still, so that was really cool. Right below here is the drain for our freshwater tank, so it's really easy to get to. Another great feature on the Boldt is the power carefree awning. So I'm going to show you how easy that is to work. You just push this button here and you just have to hit it once. You don't have to hold it down and it will come out all the way. But if I want to stop it halfway, I can do that too. Stop it if I just want it to come out a little bit. I'll have it go out all the way, and we've got LED lights on the awning as well, and I'm going to go ahead and turn those on. Now this awning does have a seismic sensor, so if it detects wind or whatever, it will come back in and retract. I don't think I've mentioned yet that this is the Boldt BL floor plan. So on this floor plan you have two gray tanks. So this is exhaust for the gray tank at your kitchen sink, and this is the exhaust for your gray tank in the bathroom. All right, just want to point out that we have another pet leash or lock area on the other end of your running board along with the lights. And then we've got our engine exhaust. The Mercedes Sprinter chassis with the dual rear wheels did not have the capability for a TPMS or tire pressure monitoring system yet. Just behind the rear tires, we have the holder for our sewer hose or stinky slinky. Then we've got our patio light. Now this is a really nice, bright, you can see LED light, so you can use this for a couple things. You can use this, turn this on when you're backing into a campground at night, or when I've got the awning out, it's going to give a lot of light. And I also always like to use it as a security light too. If I'm in my coach and I hear a loud sound, something startles me, or I think someone's walking around outside, I'll flip that on. That will usually scare whatever is outside off. Also notice with the patio light, the running board light comes on as well. So the Boldt comes standard with a 230 watt solar panel up on the roof. Now if you want to add extra solar panel power, you can add up to 600 watts. It's capable of using 600 watts. So on a portable one, you could add it right here. So you might want to, it'd be easier to have it on the roof. You can add extra panels on the roof, but what this is nice for, say you're in a beautiful campground, you've got nice shade trees covering the top of the RV, you're not going to get any solar power. So portable one, you could plug in here and then take it over into the sunshine and get that extra wattage that way. Then we've got our 12 volt outlet and our cable outlet here, and then two 110 outlets. As I go around the back here, we've got another sensor here and another sensor here for our collision mitigation system. And then we've got our quick connect here, so you can put your grill out here. Nice thing about where this is located is if you got a strong wind that's coming down the side, passenger side of your coach, you can put the grill back here and kind of protect yourself from that, or vice versa. If it's bad back here, you can bring it around, have it here where you're eating dinner and everything. So it gives you a couple options. And here we have our hitch. This is rated up to 5,000 pounds for towing. And we've got a little receiver here, and your 7-way plug for your tow lights. All right, so working from the top down, I've kind of got my running lights on right now, and just above that, that's your over-the-air antenna basically for your TV. And below that is your camera. That's a 3-way camera. So you're gonna have your backup camera, obviously, your hitch view, and then a wide-angle view. A lot of people ask if this has a spare tire. It does not come with a spare tire, but there's a lot of outfitters that work with Winnebago that can build a spare tire holder that will go right here, or one that comes out from your hitch. So you can definitely add that if you want to have that. And then let's talk about this really cool feature. This is a ladder. It holds up to 225 pounds. So yeah, I can still get on it, which is nice. Hopefully forever. And it's a locking ladder. So a lot of people will lock their gear to this. You can also, I could demonstrate this from here, but I'm going to actually move it around to the side and hook it onto the cargo rack and show you how it works there. So I've unlocked it. Now I can take the ladder off. It's really quite light, and move it around the side, and then I can hook it anywhere along. No matter where I put it. I'm gonna put it right there. And it's got little rubber bumpers here, to protect your paint job. Now I'm going to go up on the ladder and show you some interesting things that are up on the roof of the Boldt. All right, so now on top of the coach, you can see that we have 2 solar panels. They're each 115 watt solar panels. Now the nice thing about being able to bring the ladder to the side of the coach is the fact that I can now reach my panels and wipe them off to keep them working at their optimal capacity. So one in the back, one in the front. We've got our AC unit here, and then we've got our max vent fan. This is our vent for our black tank, and then this is our plug-in. So if I wanted to add more solar panel up top, this is where I would plug that in. And then this little square box up front is a roof access port. So if you want to add a Wi-Fi Ranger, a satellite, any roof accessory that you need to add, it's all ready for you to do that right there. And then you'll see that we've got the cross members here. So you just would unbolt these and you can move them so that they can hold the gear that you're wanting them to hold. And again, they will support 200 pounds of gear. Now I told you could move this ladder anywhere along the side of the coach. So if you try to just lift it up directly, sometimes it will get kind of stuck. So usually if you just lift it to one side and then you can lift it right up. Take it back to the back and lock it in. All right, so here on the driver's side of the coach, we have our cable input. So if you want to plug into the Parks cable, this is where you'll plug that in. Then we've got the plug-in for our 30 amp shore power cord. And a cool thing like this, once you're plugged in and you have power, this little light will turn on. So that's nice. Speaking of lights, another feature from Winnebago that's from the voice of the customer is this utility light. Now I called it a patio light on the other side of the coach because that's the passenger side, that's where your patio is. But when you're here on the driver's side, it's called a utility light because if I come into the campground at night, I'd like to have some light to help me hook up everything so if I'm not fumbling around in the dark. So that's a really nice feature that they've added after they listen to their customers. Then down here, we've got our gray tank valve. Now on the BL, you've got a 21 gallon freshwater tank. You have a combined 36 gallon gray tank between your 2 gray tanks and a 24 gallon black tank. Here is our other valve for our gray tank and our black tank. And this is a gravity dump. Now you don't have, you're gonna have to turn on the pump once you're dumping your tank here. All right, so here we've got our city water fill, our tank fill, and our black tank flush inlet. So if you wanna use this, you will hook up your garden hose, you're going to release the black tank valve, turn on your hose, and then you're gonna be putting water into that black tank. And I don't want you to think that you're like washing it out. You're basically just putting water in there to kind of push everything through. This is the Truma Combi exhaust for your hot water and furnace. This is whisper quiet, and you'll notice that it has a very small footprint on the outside of your coach. I'll talk more about the features of the Truma Combi when we're inside. Here's our 16 gallon propane tank for your Truma Combi system, which you can run off gas or electric, and you can also use this for your quick connect grill in the back. One of the things I want you to notice how clean this side of the coach is. There's very few access points, even when you get to your fuel fill. So that's gonna be inside the front door here. Got your fuel fill right inside here, 24 gallon diesel fuel, and just, again, that just makes it look so nice and clean. All right, now for my favorite part, let's go inside and check out the interior. Now, right when I walk in the door, there's a few things I want to point out. First of all, I love this little cubby right here. So I can throw my keys here, I can put my pet leash here, flashlight, just a nice little catch-all place. Ask my husband, he knows that I love to have catch-all places, but I think that's kind of handy. And then down here, we've got our fire extinguisher. Hopefully we'll never need that, but that's really easy to get to if I do. We've got the nice step up here, and then we've got 2 110 outlets here and USB charger right here. So as I come inside, I just want to point out that just to the side of this table is the button to close the door, so I don't have to, I just push the button and it's going to close. And now I'm in my living room. Of kind of set it up. I've already turned my captain and co-captain's chairs around, and I've got the desks out. You can see this is on a ram mount, so I can use this desk or table here. I can also put it in the back of the coach, or I can remove it altogether if I don't want it. But it does fold down nicely and just kind of sits behind the co-captain's chair. We have another nice table here, so you can easily set that up to work on your laptop or have dinner with your loved one, and it removes super easy. So you can adjust that and move it around. And then if you want to move it, there's actually 2 places you can use this. So here, and then I can put it in the back as well, use it as a table there. So it's just super easy to pull out, and then I can walk it back and put it in the back. So I've taken the tabletop from the front of the coach now and just brought it back here to the back. And I've got our extended length pole here that stores right back here. I'll show you that in a little bit, but just slip that into the spot right here. It's just so easy. Put that on, and then it's really versatile, so I can direct it whichever way works best for me and my guests. So we've got our third seat here, which is really nice. It's nice and wide, and there's a couple other features I want to tell you about this. First of all, this does have a seat belt. These cushions snap into place. I can't tell you, I hate fluffing my cushions on my couch. So I like that I can remove this cushion if I need to, but when I'm ready to put it back in, it just snaps right back into place. And then we're going to remove that cushion, and you know, space is at a premium in these Class Bs, and we use every little available space that we can find. Here's a nice cubby for storage, for clothes, for whatever you need. Just a really nice size little storage area there. Now I'm going to make this into a bed. So a little surprise here. I think it's pretty cool. Remove the cushions, and then I'm just going to lift. They've got a nice little handle for me here that locks into place, and then it just pulls forward. There's the base of my bed. Now I'm going to put my cushions in. So there's a nice little bed for a child. You can also move up the captain's chair, so it comes almost right up next to the bed there, so it gives you a little extra leg room, or lay your iPad, your phone over here. So it's really nice little bed. Shut the door, and it's quite cozy. Again, storage space is huge. So Winnebago has given us access to this area above the cab, so it's nice and deep, and it's a great place to store the covers, your blackout covers for your windshield, and I'll show you how those work a little bit later. So you can easily get those in there and still have plenty of room for other items. Now, right above that, we've got our smoke detector, and then over in this cabinet, we've got the roof access port. When I showed you up on the roof, there's a hole already in place. It's right here. So if you want to add a Wi-Fi Ranger or a satellite, you can do that right there. And then we've got USB port, 12 volt, 2 110 outlets, and our solar charger is in here. That will allow you, again, to use up to 600 watts of solar power. We have our max air vent here. So this is really nice. This is the same unit that Winnebago uses in its like 30-foot Class A motorhomes. So it has a lot of power to it. It also is set to 78 degrees. So once your coach reaches 78 degrees, it's going to automatically open and turn on. And you can adjust that setting with the remote if you have it. Now, one of the things that I like to do is crack the window in the back by the bed, turn your max air vent on, and that's going to pull a lot of fresh air into your coach and keep it nice and cool. So you can just turn it on. It's going to automatically open. And then if you want to set that to the 78 degrees so that it holds there, you're just going to go ahead and push that button and it will go on. So it's shutting right now because it's under the 78 degrees. If it gets to 78 degrees or over, it will automatically open now and cool the coach. All right, here we have our water tank heater and our holding tank heater. Now these are going to help us in extending the season usage of the Boldt. The Boldt is Winnebago's best insulated Class B coach. So it has twice the insulation as the other coaches in the walls. It has more in the ceiling and more in the floor, and all the plumbing is above ground. So that's going to help with extending the season and usage of your Boldt. Winnebago has added insulation and heating pads. So on your freshwater tank, it's going to be double lined with insulation in between, and then you've got the heating pads. And on your main sewer dump valve, you've got a heating pad on that as well. So this is Winnebago's one-place display. As you'll notice, everything is kind of located together, which makes it easy for the user, which I love. So this is just going to tell us, this is where we can turn on our water pump. So it's off right now. It's going to give us our tank level readings. Really nice, easy to see there. And then our battery level. And it's going to tell us our chassis battery level and our house battery level. Then we've got our energy management system. This is basically the police for your electric system. It's not going to let you overload the system. So if you're trying to use your induction cooktop and your microwave and your AC at one time, it's going to shed the load appropriately so that it doesn't overload your system. All right, so this is our Truma system. This is really cool. This is your hot water and your furnace all in one. Remember, space is a premium in these Class Bs, and this is a very small, has a small footprint and works really well. So I'm just going to walk you basically through this. So you have your home screen, so that little motorhome here, that's your furnace. So I'm going to click that, and it's off right now. If I turn it on, I can set the temperature. Now that I've got that little flame on, I know that it's on. I'm going to go ahead and hit that again and just turn it off, so you can see how easy that is. And then go back. This is for my water, so I'm going to select that. It's off, and I have 3 different modes. So I have eco mode, hot, and boost. Boost is going to use both my electric and gas to heat my water, and is going to heat it the quickest. So again, I'm going to take it back to off. And then this is our heat source. So again, I mentioned that this uses both electric and gas. So you can use one or the other, or you can use both together. So if I click that, we have gas, and then we have mix 1. So mix 1 is just using one heating element and gas. And then we have mix 2. So that's using 2 heating elements and gas. Now when you do the mix, it's going to use your propane first, and then it will use the electric to maintain the heat level, and that's in your furnace and in your hot water. And then we have our fan on eco or high. So it's just a really easy system to use, works really well. I think you're going to love this. If you want more detailed information, there's a Truma video that's 15 minutes long that goes into this in depth. Again, I want to re-emphasize one of the great things about the Truma system is that it's whisper quiet. So you can be having a great night's sleep, and all of a sudden you hear that furnace kick in and it wakes you. You're not going to have that problem with the Truma system. It really lets you enjoy nature, and you're not going to bother, you're not going to disrupt your sleep or your neighbors. I just want to mention that underneath this seat is the Truma unit. This is the intake filter for the Truma, and this is where the heat would come out for the Truma unit. Right here is the thermistor, so that's going to help control the temperature or speak to the thermostat for the coach. And then this is your on-off light for your bathroom. The Boldt comes with the Pure 3 energy management system. And the beauty of this system is that you can have all the comforts and convenience of being plugged into 30 amp service and be in the middle of Yellowstone Park. So you can run all your 110 appliances, your AC, without a generator. The Pure 3 system is made up of 3 main components. So you've got your lithium energy storage pack, your 3600 watt inverter, and your 6000 watt alternator. The lithium energy storage pack is made up of nickel manganese cobalt, which is automotive grade technology, the same technology that you'll see used in the BMW i3. Not only is it long lasting, but it has a ton of power. So it has 11,600 usable watt hours. So 11,600 watt hours, what does that mean to you? I know what you really want to know is how long I can run my AC. So on a hot day, you can easily get 7 to 11 hours. Now, that's sort of going to be like your cell phone. You know, how are you on it constantly? Are you parked in the shade? Are you parked in the sun? How hot is it outside? Are you using other appliances? But still, safe number is 7 to 11 hours. You're going to be good and keeping your coach cool and you cool. One of the great things about Winnebago's system is that it has a warranty of 8 years. So its competitors, which are typically using consumer grade technology, have about a 2 to 3 year warranty. So that's a huge benefit with Winnebago. The second component is the inverter. So we have a 3600 watt inverter, which allows us to run all of our household appliances. The third component is the alternator. So we have a 6,000 watt alternator, and to put that in perspective, some of the big Class A's will have a 5,500 watt generator. The 6,000 watt alternator is going to charge our lithium system. The Pure 3 system is as easy to start as a push of a button. So you just merely push this button right here just one time and it will start. Then we've got our state of charge gauge, which is really easy. Winnebago's taken all the work out. You always hear when you're talking with RVs, amps, volts, watts. This is just your state of charge, and it's by percentage. So we have 60% of our battery of our power left in this unit. So it just makes it really easy for the user. So this is your inverter display. One of the great things about the Pure 3 system is that when you turn it on, you turn on your inverter. So you're able to use all your household appliances. You have 110 power. Now there is a draw. So if you're not going to be using your household appliances, if you just want your lights on, you're going to want to go ahead and turn your inverter off so that you're not drawing any power. And it's really easy to do. So here I'm just going to hit the display. Display is going to show me that it is on. Now I just want to turn it off. Now I've disabled the inverter, so I've turned it off. Easy as that. The third component, as I said, is this 6,000 watt alternator. Now that is the quickest way to charge your Pure 3 system. So if you drive the Boldt, you're charging it. So it charges it at about 1% per minute. This is for our awning, so you just hit it one time to bring it out and one time to bring it in. You don't have to hold it. Then we've got our awning light on, awning light off. This is our ground effect lights. We've got our patio light on the passenger side, our interior lights, and this is our utility light on the driver's side. So this is a nice sized bathroom for a Class B. I've got my shower here. I've got a vent for the shower, which is really nice, so it doesn't get too steamy in here. And then I've got my water pump and I've got my shower drain. So I can turn my water pump right here from the shower. And I love that we've got the handheld shower head. Now this also has a really nice feature because I can turn it on and off from here. So I use it like a water saver. So I can get the shampoo in, get all lathered up, turn off the water while I'm doing that, and then turn it back on to rinse. So I like that feature. And we have the temperature control. Then we've got our toilet, which is just a pedal flush. And we've also got the little spray nozzle here to help us keep that nice and clean, which I like. At the bottom, we've got the drain for the shower. Again, the button to turn that drain on is up top. And I like this little bamboo slat that I have to step on here so that the water doesn't puddle. I'm not standing in, standing water the whole time. And there is a shower curtain. So the shower curtain just snaps in place and then snap it across the top here to protect my door. Now another thing that I like, if we've got a spot for my shampoo here, I've got a little towel hook, and right above here I've got this handy little hook that I could hang my bathing suit to dry, a towel, my running clothes. Really nice and handy. And then we've got our windows, so we've got lots of options here. We can have that open, closed, and we also have the MCD shade to give us privacy, keep the water out. So I always like to give helpful hints during my videos. So one of the things that we recommend that you use in your tanks, in your gray and your black tank, is microblaze. And I talk about this in more detail in my RVing 101 series, but basically there's little microbes in here. You put those in your black and your gray tank so that they actually multiply and eat the sediment off the sides of the walls of your tank, so you're going to have better reading on your sensors, and when you go to dump your black tank, everything should be liquid. So again, check out my RVing 101 series. All right, so now to the kitchen. You really have a nice sized kitchen in this Class B coach. I'm super impressed. So we have the induction cooktop, which means that you have to have pans that a magnet will attach to for them to work on this. Works really well. So right below the countertop here, we have a nice big drawer for all of our utensils, cooking utensils. This is really handy. Then we've got the microwave. Now in the BL you get the microwave. In the KL you get the convection microwave. And the only reason is that there's just a little bit more space in the KL. The cabinet's a little bit deeper, so it'll accommodate the convection microwave, and that's why there's that difference. Then check out the storage here. We have a nice big drawer. Below, and another drawer. Again, they're giving you every little space that they can in this kitchen and in the coach. So we also have our 12-volt compressor refrigerator. So this works really well. A lot of Class Bs, you'll see a 3-way refrigerator. Those have to be totally level to work, and if they're not, then they won't cool. So this is like cool right now and will always be cool. And you've got a little freezer in here as well. And ice cubes. And another thing I like is we've got a lock, so you can just flip that over, and now you're not gonna have to worry about that coming open during travel. Another storage drawer. Again, that's nice and handy right by the sink. And let's talk about this sink. Now, one of the things I didn't mention when I was in the bathroom is there is no sink, but you walk right outside the bathroom, here's your sink. Nice size sink, stainless steel, residential faucet, and then you've got a cutting board on the back side of your sink cover. So I really like that feature. You can actually just set that right in there and use that sink area as a prep area when you don't need the sink. So I like that feature. And then you do have the nice solid surface countertop. And let's look at our storage above here. Nice storage here, fairly deep too. And another nice cabinet here that kind of goes from the kitchen into the bedroom area. Notice the big windows that we have in the Boldt. I love that. These are also dual glazed acrylic windows. That's an option on the Boldt, and that's significant because the R value on these windows is 2.5. A typical window on a Class B van would be 0.9. Now here, I want you to notice that we've got a little bumper here. This can be removed. This is for protection while the coach is on the dealer's lot. Basically, if this window is open and then I try to open my main cabin door, I can break the window. So that's just a reminder. I'm trying to save you all that first break or the first scratch on your coach, so to remember that. But I do love this window because, again, like I told you, you can shut it for privacy, and then you can easily bring down the screen. So if you do have that window open, you can bring the nature inside, that great smell of the great outdoors. Now let's talk about this. You're going to see these throughout the coach, and they're called ram mounts. So you can buy different accessories to hold whatever you need, and then you can move them where you need to. So in the kitchen, I might put some dish soap up here, a dishcloth. Back in the master bedroom or in the bedroom, I may have my phone, my iPad, different things. You can buy different accessories that will work for what you need. We have great lights underneath the cabinet in this coach, which I love. They're just easy on, easy off. So just push button. And then we've got two 110 outlet here. So if you've got your coffee pot, your blender, whatever, you can plug it in here or to the side of the cabinet that I'll show you in a minute. So here to the side of the sink, we have two USB charging ports, 12 volt, two 110 outlets, and this is the vent for the refrigerator. So a lot of people mention that Winnebago's cabinets have a European feel or style to them. Well, it's because they do. They come from Italy. So this material is the same material that's used in yachts in the Mediterranean, and it's called Technoform, and it's lightweight, durable, and water resistant. So it really does a great job and looks beautiful. Another great feature about these cabinets, since they're so lightweight, you get extra carrying capacity with them being so lightweight because you don't have the wood. Another problem with wood in this small of a space is sometimes the wood will wick or kind of swell a little bit, so your cabinets aren't going to open and close smoothly. So you're not going to have to worry about any of that, and I just think they're beautiful. All right, so we've got a lot of space here I want to show you in the back. So this is a really nice, big, tall, deep wardrobe, and we've got adjustable shelves. So those are just really easy to lift up to the side and pull out. You know, you may want that extra height, and you may want to remove that shelf. You can take it out all together if you want. And then let me just walk you through more storage here, and it's nice and deep. More storage here, and we've got our two 110 outlets here, our cable input, and if you push that button to the side, if that light comes on, then your antenna is on. And then we've got our HDMI input here. Just got a little protecting cover there. And then we have our last big overhead cabinet, which is really deep. I cannot touch the back of it, so I'd probably use some plastic bins to help me get to all my stuff in there. But I'm glad that I have this space. It's a nice, big, deep and wide space. I want to make sure I pointed out the AC unit. So this is the Mach 10 NDQ. This is new and is 10 decibels quieter and more efficient. So you're going to get more runtime and it's going to be quieter. Gotta love both those features. So next to the AC unit, we have our carbon monoxide detector. And then we've got our JBL soundbar with our 24-inch TV. Now this has a release. You just pull here, and then you're going to be able to swivel that TV out. So if you want to watch it from the captain's chairs up front, you want to have your little private viewing on the driver's side of the coach, you can direct it however it works best for you and your family. Also wanted to point it out that we've got the RAM tracks here along the windows in the back. So again, you can add your own trays, whatever works for the devices that you need to have help with. They're just super great. A few things I want to point out under our big massive back cabinet here is we've got our USB charging ports, 12-volt port, and then these are called our everything keepers. So those just pull down, and you can put your iPad up there, your cell phone, whatever you want. Just really handy that they're right there. And you've got two of those. And then you have the 12-volt charger again here, and the USB ports. We've got our LED lights, and again, those are push buttons. So if you want to use that as a reading light, just reach up and turn it off when you're done reading. And our speakers for our dash, from our dash, are back here. All right, so now I've got lots to show you back here with the bed and how this works. So you can leave it just as it is, and you'll have two twin beds. Some people like it like this because then it makes it easier to get up and use the bathroom in the middle of the night. It just gives you that walkway so you don't have to crawl over each other. Or other people want to make this one big massive bed. So I'm going to show you both options. But before I do that, just a couple of talking points. Underneath these bolsters or cushions, we're going to have like some spring boards that kind of give us some extra support and make the beds a little bit more comfortable. And then underneath of that, we have storage on each side. Another thing that we have that I haven't mentioned is that we've got seat belts. So I'm going to show you that. So you've got 3 seat belts up front, and you have 3 in the back here. So let me show you all this. I'll just kind of start taking it apart. As I showed you in the front, one of the things I really like on these bolsters here, they snap into place. So you're not going to be constantly, as you're traveling down the road, always putting these back into place. They just snap right back in, which I love that feature. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these cushions off so you can see what's underneath here. So I can just lift this up, and then I've got a little leg. Now I can get to the storage that I have here, which is quite handy. And underneath here is the Volta Energy Pack. You don't really have, you could unbolt this to get to it, but basically leave that to your service technicians. And then note behind here, that I've got my seat belt. All right, so I'm going to take this bolster off. Again, I'm going to unsnap that. It stays into place, which I like. And then I'm going to show you what's underneath this cushion here. So you can see we've got 2 more seat belts. We've got our little spring boards here to help. And then we've got storage underneath. And you can just lift that up if I didn't have the cushion in the way here to see that big storage area. And note, you've also got 2 110 outlets right there at the bottom of the bed. Here we have the fuse panel for the house. And below this panel, we've got the breaker box. And here we have a vent for the energy pack. So now to give me that bed base that I need to make the full bed, I'm just going to pull this out so that I have support all the way across. Go ahead and put my cushion in here. And then I'm going to bring the 2 bolsters are going to complete the bed. So easy as that. Did it all by myself. And I've got a bed for as many people as I want to try to get in here. All right, a few more things to show you in the back of the coach here. First of all, we have an outdoor shower. Now, I love this option, especially if the space inside's a little too tight for you. You can make your own little shower here, or if you want to, hose off the kids or the furry friends, this is a great way to do that. And you've got a water pump up button right here. So you just connect your hose here, and here's your hot and your cold. Then we've got the button here. This is for your utility light on the driver's side of the coach. And we've got the light for the back of the coach right here, which is really nice to have. So if you're coming in at night, you can turn on that light. It's nice big LED light that's going to illuminate this area really well for you. So behind here, we've got some storage area. Now this is where I would keep my 30 amp shore power cord. And I've got my shower hose in here too, so that they're nice and handy, but that's a nice space to have. You could put some things in some bins so you could have some different levels of storage. And then back here is kind of the exhaust pipe for one of your gray tanks. And on each door you have a little cargo net area here where you can put items as well. So I just like that any space that they can give you, they give you. So, storage is huge in these Class Bs. So right above our light, we've got the storage for our table leg for the back area of the coach. So I showed you how that worked a little earlier, but you've got a nice place to keep that, which is really handy. So I love that Winnebago has a lot of that. Now I'm just going to demonstrate the screen door again. Again, this is a feature that I really like. Super easy to do. I'm going to let it roll down. So this screen door has a few features to it that you'll like. So first of all, I can make it as, I can zip it all in, both sides, and I would go outside and finish the job, but you'll get the idea here. So I have a nice screened in porch. If I want to sleep this way, this is probably the way I'd want to sleep. But if I want to make this a full-on window, I can do that as well. I can make this a window, or if I want to sleep with it open and I want more privacy, I can totally block it out. But I know you want to see my face again. The great thing about this is, again, I've got that magnetic door that easily opens, so I don't have to unzip the screen every time I go in and out the back of the coach. All right, so it's nighttime. I want to block out all the windows and make it nice and dark inside here. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and put in the windshield blackout shades in their place. So they kind of have magnets. They go in really easy. They just kind of fit inside the window, and there's a little tab on the two windows. One says D, one says P. So driver's door, passenger's door, and then the front, there's a little zipper that the rear view mirror goes in, and then you just put your flaps down to hold everything in place. So super easy, did it myself, you can do it. And then just come over to your windows. Love this feature. Close everything up, and you're gonna make this pitch black in here. I'm super excited to show you the cab area. There's lots of cool features, so this is gonna take a little time, but I don't wanna miss anything. So let's start with the features over here on the door. So how many times in this video are you gonna hear me say one of my favorite features? But it is, truly, because who doesn't love powered seats with memory? So I really like this. So we've got the memory here, and then 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 different settings. So I'm gonna go ahead and set 1 for my setting. So it's gonna go into place. I've already got it in setting 1. But 2, I typically set that for when my chair is rotated around and in kind of the lounge position or how I use it. And 3 is the position that I put the chair in so I can go ahead and turn it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that. Right now I'm just gonna hit 3, and then I'll kind of get up and move so the chair can move forward. So the chair's gonna move forward, the back's gonna come forward, and then I'm just gonna reach down below here to rotate that chair. So that just makes it super easy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and press button 2 so you can see what it does. It will just go into the lounge position. And get comfortable, ready to just hang out in the living room here. We have the heated seats in the Boldt with the unlock and lock button here. And then just above, we have the controls for our exterior mirrors, so we can adjust those here. And then we have our window controls. A few more features of this seat are we've got the lumbar button right here. So you can adjust that, the power adjustment button. And then another feature of the seat to make it more comfortable is you can just pull that, lift the lever, and it pushes forward, and it makes it more comfortable for your legs while you're driving. So your chassis battery sits right down in this compartment right here. We've got a little picture of it right there, and you have to unbolt these to get to it. So that's one of those things you just leave to Mercedes to service for you. And underneath this panel here is the fuse box for the chassis. You just push those down, and there you go. All right, here is our vent for AC and heat, and if I turn that, I can shut it or open it. And then this is our lights, so I can have my running lights on here. Just keep it on auto there, or I can turn on my headlights that way. This button turns our fog lights on and off, and then this is a light to adjust the dimness or brightness of the screen, and I always like that as bright as it will possibly go. So then we have our paddle here to control our windshield wipers. So they're really cool windshield wipers. First of all, it's rain sensors, so if you leave it in this position, just like this, they're gonna come on and off as needed. So I don't even have to mess with them at all. Now, if I wanna control it, I can change and turn them on just like you would normally, or I can turn them off. I can also adjust the sensitivity to that rain sensor as well. And I do that up here on the steering column. I just go to my home button, go to your settings, go to vehicle, and then you can go to low sensitivity or just scroll to standard, very sensitive, standard, or low. This is the windshield wiper button, fluid button, and the fluid actually comes out of the windshield wiper. It doesn't spray onto the windshield. So it looks like it's using more water, but it actually uses a lot less water than the spray. You have paddles right here on each side of the steering column. You can shift the gears. You can go up or you can shift down. So instead of braking as you're going down the mountain, you can just downshift right here, and it's super easy to do. And for added comfort, you've got the control to raise or lower your steering column. So if you like it low, like a little bit right there, and I can see my whole dashboard there. All right, I'm going to go through all the functions here on the left side of the steering column. So this is our home button for our screen here, and then this is my mouse. So I can just scroll through the different options. Now some of these functions I'm going to want to see here, on the dash, and then the rest I can do over here as well. So I'm just going to scroll over to my service button and hit that. Then I'm going to scroll down. This will give you information about your engine, DEF, engine oil level, when you need your next service, etc. So I'm just going to scroll through a couple. So I'll go to DEF. It's going to show me that I'm 3/4 full. So I'll go back to my home button. We could go to our engine oil level, our particulate filter. So this one's pretty interesting because in our older Mercedes Sprinter chassis, you had no idea where you were. So if you idled for a long time, you didn't know that you had your diesel particulate filter was filling up and that you needed to go burn it off. So here it's going to show us so we know exactly where we are. Once that gets full, we want to exercise engine, basically drive it and burn that off. Service, I'm going to go to drive assist, trip information. So most of us are familiar with trip information that we have on our dash. So this is going to go through your miles per hour, your total miles, so 1673, current miles in this trip, and then your fuel consumption. So this kind of gives you an elevated information about your fuel consumption based on your driving habits, and this will give you your current consumption. And the rest of these, you will probably just want to scroll through and do them on your dash. Other than settings, here is where you can go to vehicle and do the rain sensor or display operation, and this is where you can decide how you want to see your DEF level, where it currently is at, or just have the alarm come up when you go to your reserve fuel. So I just always keep mine on permanent. So then we have our cruise control button. So I just hit that and it will illuminate here on the screen. I'll show you that while I'm driving. And then we can resume. So we can set it with this button right here. So we just press it up. So as I press hard all the way up, it's going to go up in 5/mph increments, or down the same. And I'll demo that again while I'm driving. And you can resume or cancel your cruise control here. And then this is your following distance, which I'll show you while we're driving it as well. Then we've got our horn here, and then we've got the function so we can make phone calls here. Mercedes wants you to be as safe as possible, so all the controls to make a phone call are going to be right here in your steering column or on the dash right here, or you can just use your Hey Mercedes like you use Siri. It's really cool because you've got the mouse right here, so you can scroll through all your settings. Over here, your hand doesn't need to leave the steering column again, like I said, and you can control your volume right there too. So you can also scroll through it with your finger. Now, one of the things that you can do that's really cool is you can customize this. So let's say that I want to take my settings and move that to the front screen. Just hold that there. And now it's going to be right there. Hit that check mark. Now it's one of the first settings that I'm going to come to. Or my navigation, if I want to move that. Very front. Right there, hit the checkbox, and I can totally customize this screen. So we've got our navigation system here, where you can input your destination. So Mercedes calls this console the MBUX, which is the Mercedes-Benz user experience. Now, I would love to show you how everything works with Hey Mercedes, but it's not going to work while we're on National Indoor RV Center's lot because we haven't registered the coach. So once you come buy your coach from us, you'll register it, and then you can use all these features. So it's really, you're gonna love it. Now, settings is a really cool button. Mercedes allows you to customize so many of your things. The loudness of the click, your camera and parking, early warning all around, the warning tone. So you'll have a little, how loud do you want that? Traffic sign assist. So it's going to see that the traffic sign says 45 miles per hour. Do you want it to say that to you and show you the visual? We just have it on visual right now, or you can turn that off. Active lane keeping assist, so you can have that on or off and have the warning on or off. Active brake assist, do you want that early, medium, late, or off? You can go to your vehicle. Acoustic lock, do you want to hear that click when you lock it? The auto door lock function. Gas station search. You can go to your lighting, so you can decide how long you want that delay when you exit your coach, when you come in your coach. And your display panel, so you can just customize so many things here. Your brightness, your display, your day and night design, controls. So many things to customize and really make this exactly, you know, give you the information that you're wanting in the way that you want it. And then we've got our radio, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now the media is kind of cool. So I can, right up here, a little compartment, so charging area, and I can plug in my, like if I wanted to do Apple CarPlay, I'm a fan of Google. So you do have to have a USB-C cord and then to your charging device if you want to use like an Apple CarPlay. But I can charge my phone, I can just lay it right there. And pretty soon it's going to come up and it will say, will give me a little message here, wireless charging has started. So I really like that feature. Then I've got a 12 volt, my media input here, and then my USB-C input here. I have 2 of those. So that's nice, and I can just close that. Then I've got cup holders I didn't tell you about. You have like 8 cup holders up front. How cool is that? So you've got 1, 2 here in front of the driver, 1, 2 in front of the passenger, and then you've got 4, 2, 4, and you can get one in your door as well. So you can drink to your heart's delight. I hope that you can have enough bathroom stops in you, but there's plenty of space for cups. Gotta love that. So below the panel here, you have the quick access buttons. So if you want to go to your nav, telephone, back to your home screen, on and off button for your radio, they're all right there. And then you have the volume, which is really nice because it's easy to find while you're driving right here. And then down below we have the climate control center here. So your heat and cold, your fan speed, your auto, AC, the mode that you want it in, where you want your fans directed, your hazards, max. This is the recirculating air button, and then your rear defrost. And here we have the control for your main cabin entry door, which is very handy to have at your fingertips. Right here we've got a 12 volt receptacle and a spot for your USB-C. And then let's talk about the key fob. So to resync the key fob with the chassis, you can either put it right in here, and that will sync it with the chassis. So it's communicating with the chassis, or you can hit the unlock button twice, and that will resync it with the chassis. You're probably wondering how I know that. You'll have a message on your display that will say, place key fob in the designated area. That's meaning that it wants it to sync to the chassis again. Anytime that you want to save the battery in your key fob, you can actually put it to sleep. So you're just going to hit the lock button twice, and you'll see a little light up for 1 second. That will let you know that it works. So now this is asleep, and then to wake it up, I'm just going to hit the unlock button once. Above the dash here, we have our lighting controls for the inside of the coach. So you've got your captain's little reading light and your co-captain's reading light. And then if you want it for both of you, that's really nice. And then we've also got a button here for roadside assistance or emergency help. I'm going to demonstrate how to put it in to engage the four-wheel drive system. So most of the time you can do it when you're just rolling maybe up to like 6 miles per hour, but I recommend that you just pull over to the side of the road and do it from a stopped position. So I'm going to go ahead and put the car into neutral setting. So I'm just going to barely hit it. Now I'm in neutral. I can engage the four-wheel drive. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in drive now. And I'm in four-wheel drive. You can see that the light's illuminated. Now I want to put it in low. So I would use that setting if I were in a situation where I needed more torque to help me get out of kind of a gnarly situation. So I want to go into this. I need to do the same thing over. So I'm going to stop the coach. I'm going to put it into neutral. Hit the low button here. It's telling me that I'm in low range up here on my dash. Then I can put it into drive. And I'm now in my low range four-wheel drive. If your four-wheel drive light is flashing and then shuts off, then you have not engaged your four-wheel drive. Now I want to turn my four-wheel drive off. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the vehicle again. I'm going to put it in neutral. And hit the button. My low range is off. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn off my four-wheel drive. All right, so it's time to take the Boldt for a test drive. I think I'm going to really enjoy this, so come along for the ride. Just heading out of National Indoor RV Centers here. There's some really nice safety features that you get with the Boldt. So you have the adaptive cruise control, the collision mitigation system, and the active lane keep assist. So I am going to go ahead and turn on my cruise control. All those controls are over here on the left-hand side of the steering column. So I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and set that. And now I can also control my following distance, or it will let me know I can shorten that distance or lengthen it if I want to really easily, just right here on the steering column. So I really like that feature. The other thing that I love about this is I've got like a little mouse pad right here on the steering column. So my hands never need to leave the steering column. So I can go to my navigation system, I can go to my phone, I can just scroll through the radio, media, info, settings. I can do all that right here for my steering column. Another thing that you have is the blind spot monitoring. So when if I want to change lanes and I've got someone in my left lane here, I'll have a visible alert that there's someone in that lane and not to get over. So right now, if I were to try to change lanes, you can see that my blind spot monitor indicator is lit up, kind of red, to let me know that I can't get over. Obviously, I can see that as well. Another great feature that you get on the latest and greatest Mercedes Sprinter chassis is an upgraded sway bar. So I really don't feel any sway as I make a turn or go right to left. It feels very much like my car. It's very easy to drive. I'm very comfortable. You need to come out to National Indoor RV Centers and take one for a test drive yourself. Now I'm going to try to demonstrate the active lane monitoring system. It kind of learns your behavior. So I'm going to try to cross over into the left lane without putting on my blinker, and we'll see. So I'm going to get an audible alert. As it learns my behavior, it will also give me a haptic alert on my steering column. And then one of the cool features that it has, unlike most of your cars where when you cross a lane without using your blinker, the steering column's going to kind of pull you back in. This has an active braking system. So if I was trying to go left, it would brake to my right to kind of pull me back into the lane. So it's pretty cool. And it learns your driving habits. So I've been playing a little bit too much with the lanes going in and out that it doesn't want to help me right now. But the longer I drive the vehicle, the more it will learn how I drive and then be more helpful to me. So with the front camera, it's actually reading the speed limit signs for me. Now, a lot of systems will do that, but they won't be accurate if you're going through a construction area. So you can see I've got the speed limit on my dash here right in front of me, and then over to this side, which is really helpful, especially if you've been driving for a long time and you're not really noticing those speed limit signs. All of a sudden you wonder, what's the speed limit? Or you pass a cop and you wonder, what's the speed limit? Am I going too fast? It's nice that it's always accurate and right in front of you on the dash. So the Boldt is very quiet. Let's say whisper quiet, I think. As I'm driving along, I can easily have a conversation with my passengers. I'm not having to raise my voice or yell. It's nice and quiet. So as I look at my decibel reader, it's 67.6, which is lower than a luxury car. So that's pretty wonderful. You're really going to have an easy time driving the Boldt. I feel like I'm very comfortable as I am in my car. You've got your rear view mirror. That's more so just to talk to your passengers in the back. But the mirrors are great. Your visibility is great. Fun way to see the country and get out and adventure. So the Boldt is super easy and comfortable to drive. So you need to come to National Indoor RV Centers and take one out for a test drive for yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on the brand new 2020 Winnebago Boldt BL floor plan. I've enjoyed showing you it. This is a great product. I'm sure you're wondering how much this would cost you. MSRP is $221,659 and MAP pricing, manufacturer's advertised price, is $166,244. Now, with our economies of scale and volume in National Indoor RV Centers, RVs simply cost less. So if you want to know how much I can sell you this coach for, give me a call, 469-277-1120, or you can email me at Angie@NIRVC.com, or visit our website, NIRVC.com, and you can see this coach or many others that we have to offer. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, please click the like and subscribe. And I just came out with a brand new RVing 101 video series. So click this if you'd like to see that. And you've got to learn more about our aimclub.org. So click there to find out more about that. Thanks for watching and have a great day.